Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of our Medieval Total War campaign as the French in Glorious Achievements mode. The year is 1336. We're about 100 plus turns before the end of the campaign, and to look at the map here, it doesn't look like we're doing that well, but honestly this is quite good compared to where we were a few episodes ago with just starting a massive war against the Spanish. I think we've basically got them cornered at this point. They've got some provinces that they do border us at, so Provence borders Milan, and Constantinople borders Bulgaria. That's almost it. That may in fact be it, because the papacy has come on into Spain, and their holdings in the Balkans and Eastern Europe has really, well, it means that the Spanish are not free to throw everything at us. So let's just end the year, see what they're up to. And we want to just kind of get maybe a last few pieces into place, and then maybe think about peace with Spain, quite honestly. If they would be open to a ceasefire, you know, I think if they don't mind taking a turn or two off of war here, I'd be totally fine with that. What we need to do is start causing a dent with regard to the English. And that means finding allies among their enemies, potentially, and maybe even hitting them. Although before I hit them, I do want to get feeling a bit better about Spain. So Spain is attacking Austria, kicking the papacy back there. Okay, the papacy is going to be attacking the Spanish next year, potentially. Enemy English spy captured in Brittany. Okay, so this is a English crusade, so the English are now capitalizing on this. The excommunication of the Spanish. Makes perfect sense. I've been doing it. And in fact, I am queuing up another crusade marker in Palestine just for the chance that, you know, it might potentially be needed. I'm not sure that it will, but if it is, I want to be able to have it sort of in my back pocket. Let's actually see if we can find an agent somewhere here. We've got a princess. I don't think I want to use her, but let's take... there's a likely bishop. We've got one, I guess, in Switzerland we could use. It's a few turns away. We've got to have someone who's at a port province. Here we go. Serbia. Yeah, you can go right over. Try a ceasefire there. This is just some guy, Pierre Cesset. See if we can get ceasefire with the Spanish, because they're going to have their hands full with the English Crusade, with the papacy, and they probably don't want to have to deal with me as well. Otherwise, we're building up in Toulouse again. This was a place where I was getting chivalric knights, and the Spanish, of course, took it. So now we need to build up those facilities yet again. And we're just sort of continuing to build troops around my continental territories with the idea that we're going to push against the English if we get this ceasefire. Now, the trick, of course, is that the English are in the good graces of the Pope insofar as they have a crusade, and they are allied with the papacy, as am I. So this is... it's going to be a potential problem. The English, I think, are bigger than me, but if we look at this new development, the Golden Horde is actually not done here. They have Prussia. They've just taken Pomerania. We'll see if they can hold it. And I'm able to see this now because of a ship that I just moved into Skagerrak. So I can at least see that Pomerania... Yeah, they might keep that unless the English do a strong counterattack. But it looks like, you know, they've been holding their own surprisingly well here. So let's see if we can just get a sense of public loyalty. Now, this would be a good place to get a spy, except for the border fort. So sadly, I don't think we can do much with that. We've got a spy here in Armenia trying to make something happen. Just very, very unlikely. This border fort here, this Edessa would be a great option. You know, maybe we can try this. I don't like, we already have a spy here, as a matter of fact. We got a 2-star, so probably not much of a point. We could try Rum. Let's just move him back over to Rum. See if we can get that to kick off. Trebizond would be a nice target. No border forts, but tons of armies here. So it's just an unfortunate situation. We've not really been able to capitalize on it. Yeah, none of these options. None of these places is really good for us. Saxony, I'm pretty sure, has border forts. Friesland does. Pretty much all these continental places do, with the exception of Tyrolia and Switzerland, actually. But now, right, we were going to take another look Unfortunately, I don't think... Yeah, there's border forts everywhere else. So we would have to move through a border fort province, or at least one, in order to get to either of these places. And these are important because I think both of these could be an originator for the Swiss faction. If we can get loyalty down, you know, we might be in a good position there. So let's get a ceasefire. Let's stop attacking and weakening the Spanish. And let's strengthen them, because now actually they are at war with the English. And they do share borders. Right? So the English actually just started this, I guess, didn't they? Okay, so the Golden Horde is going to get kicked out of Chernigov. Spain loses Austria. Okay, Spain is getting some unrest in Sardinia. Where the heck are the Italians then? There's an Italian agent here, but where... I thought Sardinia was like their last province. Is this just a bug? I really don't know. I've got to check that out. Okay, English are now the strongest, so that has tipped. We've weakened the Spanish to the extent that the English are now the strongest faction. Okay, yes, the Italian Doge has been killed, so that's it. But we could get a reemergence, potentially, of the Italians. Okay, our spy in Wales tells me that the English are trying to attack the Golden Horde. Alright, we get a ceasefire with the Spanish. Great. Now, the problem is, if we start war with the English, they are a Catholic faction in good standing. They've got a crusade. I assume this is a big one. Don't be fooled by the small size of the color in the banner. If it gets over a certain amount of men, it sort of shrinks again, but it's rather misleading. They could have over 2,000 men in this crusade. Okay, so there is the English king. We can't see any of his details because they've got a boat there, which I believe means that I can't see the details of the province in terms of buildings or the armies in terms of units. So, that's that. We do have a ceasefire. Okay, so what can we do about that? Well, an Italian reemergence now doesn't seem so awesome, simply because it would hurt the Spanish, which wouldn't really help me that much. Maybe it would hurt the papacy, but I doubt it. It looks like public order is so good here that it would probably just be here and be pretty irrelevant. So that would be too bad. Alright, we'll have to keep an eye on this area. We've got enough men to start hitting them. So, the year is 1338. We've got 12 years before we are counting points again. So, that's 1350. If, at that time, we have Normandy, Anjou, and Burgundy, which we could, right? It's just these three. We're going to be denying the English a few points. Normandy is worth 3 points to them. And we're going to be, so that they would be down 3. And we would be up 3, so we would be up 7. Which would be, I think, enough. Yeah, that might be enough to start overtaking them. It might be time to move. Alright, how's our economy? 28,000. We've got 1 million, is that right? 1,085,168 florins. We're making almost 30,000 a turn, so our economy's doing great. Now we don't have to worry about Spain messing us up. Our fleets are looking just wonderful here. But we do have to worry about the English. The good news is we'd keep almost all the Mediterranean trade even without a single fight. So the the English would have a ship there. That's it. They've got a ship up here. Obviously, they've got most of their fleets around their homelands. All right, now let's see what they've got. We've got a lot of billmen. And a good amount of archers or firearms, but not a lot of cav. And no good generals in here, or really that many other places. This guy is a 4-star. Michael Talbot, +2 morale, and 4 stars. But I've got a 4-star right here, and he's +2 morale. So that sort of balances out. Now, we don't have the armor upgrades that these guys do. Let's see. If we attack from Aquitaine to Anjou, inland, flatland, lush grassland, no waterways. Attacking into Burgundy from Toulouse is a river. From Provence is nothing but hills and mountains. So Provence seems like the way to go. My king is potentially vulnerable here, but we do have an heir, Prince Louis, who's down in Sinai currently. He's married, so he's pretty much ready to go. We've got Prince Charles, who is right with the stack, and in 6 years we'll have another prince come of age. All right, we do have some mercenaries. We do have some longbowmen. Let's do it. That seems appropriate. I think I want to stick them with the royal army down here. And yep, let's just keep the training as it is. Let's move our princesses. I want to get some sight on the sort of inland. Okay, but let's actually take a look at what we could put together for like a good army. So obviously this is our attacker, Lord Marcel, governor of Constantinople and Archbishop of Reims. He's got 6 command stars. He's got a ton of acumen, loyalty, and piety, and 4 dread. Really good all around. Killer instinct, secret avarice, great builder, and a man of principle. None of this affects his troops, but he is a good fighter. Now, unfortunately, he's only got 1 man in his unit. We could change that, though. We could merge with any other royal knights we happen to have, if we do have any. Okay, beautiful. Here's 1. Let's get the 2 of them together. And we do one of these, and now we've got a full general's force. So that's much better. Alright, I'm going to take kind of useless units and put them over here. And we're just going to assemble this force and see if we can put together something plausible that can hit Burgundy from here, Anjou probably from here, and Normandy either from Ile-de-France and or Flanders. Or maybe Brittany, honestly, because Normandy is pretty small at the moment. So, 39, you can go away, you can go away. 12, we don't need you. And 1. Okay, fair enough. You go down there, and we've got all these odds and ends that were just leftovers from various English crusades. So we're just going to consolidate them, and they're going to stay in Provence just as a garrison, primarily, because between all of this is still like, you know, a couple hundred guys. So yeah, we do something like this, and you know, it's not 3 full stacks, but we can throw in like anybody we want from Toulouse. So like these chivalric knights. We can take the Templars. This was the Crusader. So we'll take him and the mercenaries. And you, and you, and you. I don't think I want anything from here in particular. I'll take both of you. We probably want the trebuchet, because we're going to be assaulting castles here. We may be warned about a ceasefire from the Pope. Or given the order to ceasefire. So we're going to want siege stuff to be there. Okay, so I'm thinking we move all of these things right here into Brittany. Alright, Provence still looks fine. And loyalty is good. A couple of turns we'll have a fort there. We're moving you in as well. But all you guys stay behind. So we hit there. Now the other big place to hit is, of course, Anjou. So this has, you know, they've been doing a pretty good job getting their guys armored. And this is the place with the better general. Okay, so once again, I'm going to clear out units that really have sort of worn out their usefulness. Okay, and I think that's fine. So this is, again, not really 3 stacks. He doesn't have 3 stacks really either. So we can support this from Ile-de-France, I think. And what do we have for Cav? I think we've got him beat in cavalry. Yeah, he's got hardly any. He does have a unit of feudal knights here, but I think that's gonna be okay. We actually have some armor upgrades of our own, so that's probably a little bit better than I was thinking. All right, we've got a handgunner here. We've got all this useless stuff. Okay, so we need to move into Normandy. I think I'll go from Ile-de-France. We'll leave Lord de Valois here to guard it, but we'll take the king. And that's a full stack going right into Normandy. We'll move the handgunners down, I guess. And let's just keep training. Let's get some Hobilars actually mixed in there. And yep, we're getting more of you. And here, I think we actually need to start keeping people in Champagne and Flanders. Like, we could move guys from Flanders, but I don't think I want to, because we may need to guard against a counterattack. Now, they're going to hit us also in terms of the Navy. And so we may lose, you know, the North Sea access. We may lose this. We can always, you know, hit Wessex. I want to wait, you know, I'd rather the English have England. And actually, the loyalty is 90% here, so this is pretty interesting. If we hit them and they start to lose a bunch of territories at once, and one of them is, like, I don't know where this crusade came from. It could have been Northumbria. But this is a crusade-capable province. Normandy is, I think Anjou is as well. Yep. And Burgundy. So we basically eliminate a lot of their crusade options. And if we can actually conquer these provinces outright, even if the Pope warns us, I think we get a couple of turns to do that, then we're pretty good. Now, over here it is a bit of a problem, admittedly, and, you know, maybe we lose the Middle East. We need to keep Cyprus, and that's it. So we need to hold here. And we are still training ships, so we're going to keep messing them up. We're in a good position now to, like, hit from Constantinople over to Trebizond, or, you know, I guess they could hit us. Let's get some arbalesters, and let's go super armor there. And here we've got just kind of some garbage. So we're going to, you know, if they hit us around here, we're just going to have to respond, unfortunately. Let's hold off on the mercs, and let's go feudal and cav. And then here, you know, we could train royal knights, but let's go light cav. Byzantine infantry, that's very interesting. Mamluk cavalry. All right, let's not, though. We're the French. We're not going to do that. A couple crossbows. And let's get some of you from here. And I think that's it. Are we ready to go? Let's end the year. Let's see what the Pope has to say about this. Let's see what the English do. You know, maybe a better move would have been to wait until closer to 1350 so that we could just be sure that we get those provinces before the English can counterattack. But on the other hand, they're only going to get stronger, you know. We got to start tilting the points back in our favor, or we're not going to make it. All right, the Spanish are joining in. This is going to be interesting. Okay, so the English just withdraw out of Normandy. There goes that crusade marker, which is actually perfect. They're going to lose some influence there. We got Normandy, but it's under siege. Okay, we invade Anjou, and this is really close in numbers. Oh, but Lord Talbot gets an extra point because I guess he's a good defender or something. Okay, so looking at this, you know, this doesn't look too bad once we get into their reinforcements. They're going to have some low-tier stuff at first, then a bunch of archers. I know the billmen are a problem, but if we beat this first 16, I think we're good. So let's sort of shuffle our stuff and get onto the battlefield. All right, we'll go now, fine throughout the day. I know that they've got a bunch of archers, but we just may as well go because what I've got coming up in reinforcements is a ton of handgunners. So if I want them to be useful at all, we do have to consider the weather. My archers are just sacrificial lambs. We're just going to run them forward. We've got a bunch of spearmen, essentially. Their job is to basically hold, and then we've got a good amount of cavalry, I think, or just units in general that can push their infantry around and hopefully do enough damage. So let's get here. Let's take a closer look. Far in the back there, they've got 20 Royal Knights. They've also got, I believe, 40 Feudal Knights there. Here's our 38 Templars and mounted sergeants, as well as Royal Knights in backup. So we've got a couple of units of men-at-arms, some Italian infantry mercenaries, some order foot, but a lot of chivalric sergeants. And they've got a lot of, you know, archers. So I'm thinking we just push our infantry against them. Look at all this. Their infantry is like 6 guys. They've got spearmen, billmen, fearedmen, billmen, and urban militia. So we just get right in their face. Sure, we do a little skirmishing here. Alright, I'm going to ungroup you, and everybody else, we're going to go forward. Send a cavalry out wide. So these are handgunners. We'll try to tie them up. Okay, they're actually engaging. That's fine. Alright, let's get the Knights Templar in. Archers are firing. Great, there's already some routing happening. And it looks like they're withdrawing. Urban militia are winning here. Okay, handgunners are routing. Alright, let's get the chivalric sergeants out. And the mounted sergeants. And we need to engage over here and tie this up. Our general's in the fight too. Okay, archers are routing. Let's get the Templars back. Actually, yes, let's hit the arbalesters with those cavalry. "16 Royal Knights," that's their general here. They're actually doing fairly well. Let's get them with my Templars. Alright, we'll try to hold there. Let's change the assembly point. We want to bring that closer. Alright, we're losing against their, what is it? They've got some spearmen here, some feudal knights. Not very good. Did we kill these urban militia yet? There's 4 of them. They're still in the fight. Alright, let's target their general with our archers. There's 11 of him. I think I want to pull my general out. Let's get over here. How is this going? Losing badly. Okay. Alright, let's pull over here and help. Okay, we just got some extra troops over here because we killed the last of their urban militia. Those billmen are really monstrous. And they may have some valor bonuses if the AI thought to train them in, like, Mercia. But we'll at least get behind the Fearedmen. What are they at? 4 Royal Knights? Okay, let's go over here. A real shame about those Templars. How are we doing here? Alright, he's fleeing the field. We just halt the archers and they pick their targets at this point. I think they're going to win the center. Okay, we did get the Arbalesters to rout. He's going to withdraw. I think we have to be a little more cautious about this. Let's bring people back. No, we gotta keep the pressure up, or they're just gonna have their way with us here with these archers. So they're gonna pull people back. We're gonna pull people back, and we're gonna try to get some reinforcements thrown together here. And we may have to fall back, actually, to a better position. Okay, these guys are actually out of ammo, so let's withdraw both of them. Pull back here by the chivalric sergeants. And we'll just do what we can. We're tying up their archers. Yeah, let's bring back them. I'm not going to press this. They're going to bring out a lot of reinforcements. So let's actually... Yeah, let's have you guys run back here. And you guys run over here. We'll let them withdraw, and then we'll withdraw. You know, this is a fairly even fight, so I should have expected it was going to be harder. Alright, so first it's going to be a lot of cavalry. Or a couple of units of cavalry. And then we're going to get some other things. Some gunners. Then some infantry, I think. Okay, great. Now routing, let's go over here. Because if I can get the feudal knights out of it... Alright, are they not attacking? They want to attack my mounted sergeants, but not my chivalric sergeants. Oh, here they go. Alright, let's catch them. So yeah, peasants, some billmen. I'd love to get rid of these Arbalesters. But first we gotta deal with these. Alright, we've got billmen of our own coming. And they've got a lot more ranged guys. But we've got more cav too. Alright, great. Let's get out of the way. Let's hit the billmen with my spears. We're just trying to thin out dangerous units at this point. Like... And also buy time for my units to form up. Let's hit him in the back. Here come the peasants. A couple points of valor. I don't think that's going to be enough for them to be meaningful. Alright, great. Let's get out of here. Whoops. Alright, where did I go? Okay, I'll leave the Fearedmen. If the Fearedmen will leave me alone, I'll leave them alone. Let's actually change that flag after all to right about here. You guys are fine. Alright, crossbows, archers, spearmen, feudal sergeants, urban militia, more billmen. So here we've got some heavies coming, some halberdiers, a couple of chivalric men-at-arms, very good to see. Okay, and I think I will keep you, 18 mounted sergeants. These guys we may as well keep for some semblance of a line. We've got no ranged just yet, but my archers have almost completely withdrawn, I think. Here's some Turcopoles coming. Okay, so that'll be interesting. There go the archers, good. Alright, so a bunch of lighter cav. And this is actually really good because they've got a lot of archers. And their general's not in the field, so, you know, I think they still get the valor bonuses, but what they don't get is the morale from their general being nearby. So he's not supporting them in that sense. They're also not deploying super well. Okay, so now is the question, do I want to get rid of these 24? Yeah, I think I do. They're not pushing forward, so I can stand to wait. I think I'll keep the 44. And the 18, because what's coming next might be, like, gunpowder, and I'm not sure how super useful that's going to be. Okay, the Turcopoles, that's an interesting... Oh, okay. I did not... Oh my gosh. Why are you guys coming from here all of a sudden? This is actually pretty bad. Let's run into the woods, actually, and try to get these stupid archers out of here. Alright, so we're going through the woods. I don't want them to be in the trees. So, we gotta move. Okay, guys, run in. You guys can run up here. And don't skirmish, but do get close enough to fire. Hit the Fearedmen. Right, hit the Arbalesters. Whoops. Yeah. Oh, now it's raining. Alright, well, let's just throw them in as swordsmen, because I think they're okay in that role. Right, here's my other infantry guys, billmen, and so on. Okay, everybody else can come up too. What are you, peasants? Let's just charge them. Alright, good. Some routing. We gotta clean out the woods. Yeah, you guys need to go, those 60 crossbowmen. Let's sick the handgunners on them. Alright, Pavy's crossbowmen. Go after them. Alright, I think this is good. We've got a knot up there on the hill, but I think we're almost to the point of clearing out the trees here. Now let's go after those archers. And yep, Fearedmen are routing, so we'll chase them down with the Turco poles here. We've pushed them against the wall. I mean, they might beat me, but I think I've got Cav nearby. Yeah, okay. Good, this is all going fairly well. Alright, let's actually now go for it. Before they have too much here. And see if I can push them right up against the edge and kind of call it here, you know. Alright, we want to get the Turcopoles there to help out. I think we should win that. And that's it. That's it in the woods. Okay, we got feudal sergeants here. Get out. Hit the archers. Billmen hit the feudal sergeants. Yeah, everybody come up. You two. Alright, you're routing. Shoot. Oh, nope. You can come back. We've got the general close enough to encourage him. What we've got to do is break these infantry. Right, you come over here. They didn't stand very long. We're wavering. Shoot. Alright, let's hit the billmen here, though. Lots of archers, lots of men. This might not work. We got 7 units coming. Jeez, they've got to be pretty close too, right? Okay. Shoot. Alright, Billmen come back. We've got some more support coming. Feudal sergeants are losing. There's a lot of arrow fire coming, I think. Right, they gotta break. Right, Turcopoles. Let's hit him here. It's a lot of handgunners now, which is kind of useless with the rain. Alright, break them. Now, even if we do break them, we do have work cut out for us here. Okay, they are breaking. And these guys are broken, I think. Yep. Very good. Alright, Chivalric Sergeant. So let's get the men-at-arms, Billmen, hitting those feudal sergeants and get away, get away, get away. We need to somewhat play keep away. Oh, okay, that's not going to work. We're going to get shot down by those crossbows. Damn. Now we got to try, though. It's Agincourt-esque, is that right? Is that the battle with the mud and the archers and stuff and the glorious French defeat? Some handgunners. Damn, damn, damn. Evenly matched. Here's some peasants coming. Halberdiers, help out. Chivalrics, come on. Look at them throw everything in here. Alright, Hobilars, yep, you come back. Turcopoles, you can come back. I know you can. Come on. I think that's it. Alright, let's pull a general out if we can. Nope. Alright. Alright, where is he? Where is he? Is he still routing? Can he be rallied? No, we cannot. Okay, so everybody here has to come here. I'd love for you to come back. You can come back. You can come back. But they're not going to hold it all if he doesn't come back. So it may not be worth it. Or we just may not be able to make it work. Alright, let's see what they're going to do. We are attacking, so they could just go back to a hill and sit out the timer. Which might be the best way for this to end. We do have an awful lot of time. We won it! Oh my gosh. Holy crap. That was the most unglorious victory I've had in a long time. But this is very important that we won it. I was thinking they must be down near the end. Alright, let's kill capture soldiers. Because, like, we had even numbers, and they were bringing on a lot of reinforcements, too, so we barely managed that. I think they just decided it's raining. I mean, we've got handgunners, which would be useless in the rain, but their archers are going to be affected, too, and maybe they thought, you know, man for man, that the handgunners are actually decent in melee, I think. All right, so that was hugely important, hugely important. We've got Normandy, we've got Anjou. Burgundy, they just withdraw, and the Spanish back out. All right, are we at war with the Spanish? Because they jumped in on this attack. We're not allied with them, but they pulled out before we came to blows. So we won Burgundy without a fight. We got some ransom, probably for, I don't know, for something. Oh, yes! Oh, yes! That is, oh my gosh. Perfect, perfect timing. That's my spy, too. I just moved him to Rum. Oh, perfect. And perfect placement as well, because now the English are going to have to decide, all right, do I want to, you know, go for Constantinople from Trebizond, or do I want to go into Rum, right, to try to take this back? What do I do? They won't be able to just transfer troops down to hit me in Antioch quite as easily. So this would be nice if this were more widespread. Maybe we can encourage that with some the other spies in the area. But that is great. All right, the Pope has dropped his alliance with the English, and he has remained allied with me. Same thing with the Danes. All right. So Lord de Neufville, unfortunately, doubtful courage, -6 morale, and additionally good runner, -3 morale. That is... I wish these traits were not so bad or so easy to get with just one fight, because you cannot get rid of these. The only way you can sort of overcome it, I think, is kind of randomly. If you get your general into battle, there may be a chance for him to get a like a good fighter kind of trait, but that's much harder than these ones, which are like a guarantee, and it is so disappointing. You have a general you've cultivated for so long, and then he ends up routing one time, and they never let him forget it. It is extremely, extremely disappointing. But anyway, we strategically accomplished our goal there. Let's take a look at, yeah, this is a red mess up here in the western side of the oceans. But we've now got all of France, with the exception of like Lorraine, which I think may become a target for us later, and maybe Friesland will. But those homelands are all locked down now. We've even maybe picked up a couple of extra points to conquest. So, what does that mean? We've got 2 full bars and 3 after that. They've got not even 2 full bars. So if we just hold this position, I think that's enough so that we can, over the next, few years, overtake the English. But we do have to be very careful. We're definitely going to overtake the Spanish. But yeah, I mean, we've got 5 checkpoints left. So we need to get 5 points over them. And we need to get like 10 points over the Spanish. I think we can do it. Okay. So let's take a look at our possessions here. The great thing about this is the English can't do anything to reinforce, because we do have ships in the English Channel and in the Bay of Biscay, as well as, all around our possessions. So what they would have to do first is attack and defeat my navies. They could definitely do that. There's like no question. And in fact, I'm assuming I'm going to lose like at least 1 fleet. So let's move down to the English Channel just to protect. If I temporarily lose Brittany or Aquitaine to like a fleet coming in through the Bay of Biscay, I guess that's all right. We can... Yeah, let's move another ship. Let's move one of them over here. And I don't think we have a lot of other multiple stacks. Okay, but here we do. Let's take the cog out into the west. And here's a cog, right? We move it there. And we move this caravel over. Let's contest the Atlantic Ocean. And probably we're going to have a bunch of naval battles in the next turn. Let's see, though. The papacy has acquired Norway. This is just nuts. But let's check the economy. Economy's looking pretty good. I mean, we lost about 10 or more thousand a turn. But we're still making 9 grand. It's not like we really need it. Let's see, do we want to ally with the Horde? Let's give it a shot. Let's check the alliances. We could ally with the Spanish, but that would put us at war, or just that would force us to choose between the Spanish and the Pope. In a sense, you could argue the Spanish are the more useful ally right now because they border us and they're more threatening. But I'm going to leave it as is at the moment. And are the English at war? Yeah, they're at war with absolutely everybody, except the Pope. So that is a concern. But because they launched this crusade against Bulgaria, they're at war with the Spanish, which means that Tyrolia doesn't feel like a sure thing for them to leave, right? Because they're surrounded by all these enemies. They're not at war with the Pope. They're not at war with the Pope, but that might change. So we did not get a warning from the papacy. So we could wait. How long is this going to take? 1 year. All right, I feel like just waiting that out. And this is 2 years. Yeah, I think we can hold that out. I think we can. Let's see. It's unlikely that they're going to move from Lorraine into Ile-de-France. They're probably going to hit me in Burgundy with everything they've got. And I should have just been training more guys here. So let's get some men-at-arms, some crossbows, some knights. I don't really have anything to offer for reinforcements up there. I suppose we could move an army out of Anjou over to Burgundy, but maybe I won't need it. Because Burgundy, this is entirely intact. Right, this force didn't take any losses, and this is actually my strongest, probably, of the armies that I sent. It's got a bunch of knights, it's got more of the chivalric men-at-arms. So 1 year, that's 2 turns. I think I can hold out. And I also think that this makes a pretty good point for us to end the episode, because I'm quite sure we're going to be attacked next turn. The English are going to hit us in Burgundy, like they have to, right? Actually, maybe they don't. All right, let's do one more turn, because I'm really curious to see what the Egyptians are going to do. Let's go ahead, and we can't ally with him yet because he's in the process of emerging right now. Let's go bring our spy back to Armenia, and we will, yeah, we'll end the year. It's kind of amazing that the Danes have survived this entire campaign. I don't know if they ever got into Scandinavia, like into Sweden. Yep, Spain goes down into Tuscany. Okay, the Spanish are hitting Greece. This is pretty nuts. Alright, so the English withdraw, but I think it's just a siege in Rome. And in Tuscany, does the Pope get kicked out? Okay, we didn't even get a chance to get our ship out of there. This was the boat we were trying to move to the English Channel, but that failed. Alright. Okay, good. We held our own in the North Sea, but we lost the English Channel, the Atlantic Ocean, the Bay of Biscay. Alright. Burgundy's about to fall. We were not attacked. Alright, some spies and assassins moving around, no big deal, but we got our fort in Provence, and we've got an alliance with the Golden Horde. Beautiful. King Philippe III, a magnificent builder despite all of the chaos that he has presided over here. And let's see. I imagine the English are probably going to hit Rum and eliminate the Egyptians pretty soon. Try to make an alliance with them. Because what I could do is just, if they do that, I go and hit Trebizond. Okay, now I'm a little disappointed that no one has helped take out the English. Like, no one is hitting them. But we've got to actually move ships now. So let's switch over. We've got all these guys. I think I want them to go to Constantinople, or maybe, yeah, Constantinople. This is where my main army is, like the good units. We're training arbalests, so let's keep doing some of those. All right, we do have a ship right here that we can send. All right, let's send you. Come on. Okay, yeah, right over there, right over here. And we can go right plop down there in the Straits of Gibraltar just to continue to be a jerk to them. Okay, but we've still got a presence in the Bay of Biscay. All right, and the North Sea. All right, so how do we handle this? They do have a lot of ships. This guy's got 2 stars. We've got none. Speed is going to be equivalent, so I don't know who would win if like I just tried to flee. And we've got the same, attack and speed, so I should probably just get out of here. Let's go right into the English Channel, and let's maybe do the same thing. Actually, let's try to take that boat out. I feels like whenever I get cocky and actually try to fight naval battles, I just end up losing. So that's why I'm usually happy to let the AI initiate all of those. Okay. So the Pope's still in Genoa, but he's completely evacuated Tuscany. Okay. We could think about... if I could get a spy here. I mean, maybe I don't need one, because the reality is we could have an Italian reemergence here like almost any time. Yeah, let's send a bishop over here because these guys are excommunicated, I believe. Yeah, not for long, because his yeah, King Pedro is probably going to die pretty soon. King Philippe's still got a little bit of time left. Okay, so this means that I think they could send armies by sea, not from the north, not from like over here, but let's see, and not from the Atlantic Ocean because I blocked that too, but maybe like down through the Irish Sea. So theoretically, they could send a big army that might be in like Pomerania over to Normandy. So I do need to be prepared for that. Let's sort of in preparation for that. Let's move a stack there. I think Anjou is going to be fine. And this is about to fall. This is about to fall. This is going to be 2 more seasons. All right, let's get the good units right over in Normandy. And Aquitaine, I think, is all right. Let's get them... yeah, let's get them in Anjou. And here, yeah, we'll go with you. We'll go with a spy just because. We'll go with a ship. Master Merchant, why not? And Champagne, I don't think I need it. I don't think I need to spend a ton of money. I think I've got enough troops. But let's get let's see, are you armor piercing? Yeah, halberdiers are. I just don't know if they're better. They probably are better. They're slower, they're more expensive. But let's queue them up. And in Provence, we'll just keep queuing up the fortifications. Maybe I don't need a port there. We'll go with like that. Oh yeah, and we've got the option to train chinettes, right? We can do that like crazy over here. So let's do a bunch of those. Navarre, nothing for now. And here, I guess we sit tight. Because I don't think the English are going to... Like, they're not in a position to really hit me very well in Antioch. If they go from Syria, which is their only option, then I come from Arabia and Palestine and hit them there. I don't really want to conquer a lot more in the east is the reality, so this is why I'm so happy that the Egyptians have emerged. If they can stay for more than a couple of turns, I'd love to just have them hang out there and act as a block on any other factions getting glorious achievements points. But yeah, they're going to get hit. Okay, we've got a general inquisited. Assassins moving around. Okay. Yep, the attack I queued up fails. And we were not able to get away in time for this. So we're just losing all over the place. Unfortunately, this is not a reemergence, but... okay, we've got some peasants' unrest in Wessex. It doesn't look like a lot of men, but is a 3-star general leading it. And that's it for the Egyptians. They were here for 1 turn. Okay, we got Burgundy, we got Anjou, Normandy's about to fall. We got our crusade marker, and we're still not being warned at all. So we want this to fall, and then we've got to take a look at really, how the English are going to do in 9 years. in regards to Glorious Achievements points. Okay, let's just go. See, Burgundy, I don't think gives us anything in particular. It's got trade, but it's landlocked. So not much of a point in building it up too high. We'll just go fortifications. We can train some stuff, but it's not a lot. Yeah, we got some basics. Anjou, I think, is same. Yeah, we get trade as an option. And but the AI hasn't really built that. So let's go for it. We don't need to worry so much about fortifications in this one because it's not a border. Yeah, that's fine. All right, this is just about to fall, so I don't feel obliged to, you know, make that happen. Let's take a closer look at this army here. Okay, it's feudal knights and Pavi's arbalesters, so good stuff. But I don't think they're gonna win against the English. Their king, yes, their king is right here. Let's take a look. William the Sixth, he's 45. He's actually got great influence. All right. Oh, you know what this means, though? Now, Switzerland and Tyrolia are theoretically options for the emerging Swiss faction. So we may as well get moving on that, because now we own Burgundy, right? So we can just move spies in here at will. And if we can thin out some of these troops, let's see, what would this cost? Like if I were just to bribe a stack, 46 grand, we could easily do that. So let's start moving my agents down here. And I think if I can remember, that's something I'd like to try to go for. All right, but because Anjou is protected, we also want to think about, you know, what does my garrison look like here? And this might just be this guy. So we go to protect Ile-de-France, I think, with this army. Unfortunately, this is the guy who runs like a girl or whatever. Great, we've got a cog to move. And we're going to send them... yeah, I think I want to send you right into the Atlantic Ocean. And then we'll try to get close enough to, you know, to cause some trouble there. If the Egyptians were still alive, I'd, you know, strike at the English right now. But it's very, very sad that they didn't exploit that at all. All right, so the English are now free to move almost anywhere they would want with their ships in the north. Spanish are going for Tyrolia. Awesome. Okay, so the Crusade does at least temporarily take Bulgaria. I don't think they're going to keep it, though. They're far from any support. They don't have ships here. And I think the Spanish are going to hit them back. Great. Okay. We've got our bishop doing good work down in Morocco. And Normandy has fallen. All right, so with that, we've actually conquered outright the 3 provinces that we lacked at the beginning of this episode. Now in a much stronger position. The only question is, you know, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is this going to be enough to overtake these guys? It's going to be close with the English. I don't think it's going to be close with the Spanish. But we'll see. We've got more ways we could hurt them. We could invade England if we needed to, you know, cut their points down a bit. What I want to do is when 1350 rolls around, take an inventory and look at how likely we are to really pull ahead and by how much. And then also see if we can do anything to get the English to break apart a little bit more. I'd love to see a civil war. Spanish have resisted civil war at the moment, but the English haven't. Well, I guess the English have as well, right? They've not even been in a position where they've been pushed nearly as hard as the Spanish are, and they're not excommunicated, right? So they might be harder to crack. In fact, we can see that they've resisted the invasion of Tyrolia. It was not a withdrawal by the Spanish, it was a battle, and the English looks like they did pretty well. So we'll just keep an eye on things. We'll move our spies into position. We'll see if we can bribe some of these units. I'm not ready for the war with the English to be over quite yet, so I hope you join me for the next episode where we will continue it. Take care until then.